What up, people? Thank you for joining me today. We have the main event for Magic Square's Bruticus. I will combine everything on screen and then combine them together. I haven't combined them yet, so this will be the first time I see it. Chapters are in the description, of course, or now they put them automatically into the video. So you should be able to get to what you need to get to if you don't want to look at all this and just want Bruticus. All right, so let's roll.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
I'm gonna do the legs first. Just a note, I've seen where people have this lit up. There is space to do your own thing, to have, you can put a light in there or whatever, a light modular. I don't think it came with one, but there is, like I said, there is some space in there so you can add some lights, which wouldn't be bad for this guy because his eyes are clear and they do look kind of good. The other thing is there's no gun to this set, which is quite weird to me. I think they want you to buy their magic, their shockwave, but it's sold out. I think they should have included shockwave with this set, I believe, for the price of things. And I know it's on the cheaper side, but I think they could have did that. Could have did a solid if they had any more. I don't know, but let's get into this. Subscribe. So let's do this first. Quite easy. So let's take this stuff off. Move these down, unplug them, and then plug them back into here. And basically flip this open. That's all that's to it. Bring this into here. This plugs into here, back into his legs. Oh, this too. There we go. Now we should be good. Yep, there we go. And you have this part up here waiting to plug in. Of course, you're gonna have to split this and put this in here. Simple enough, not hard at all. You just fit that in there. And this kind of keeps it together so it doesn't come apart and come off this joint. And it also fills out the leg, which I really like. It's really nice. Seems pretty stable with one leg. So hopefully it's a stable figure. Now for this guy, he's a little bit more involved, but not that much. So of course, if you have all this stuff on, you got to take it off. Take the wheel off, because that kind of keeps this together. Then undo this, take this off. Now again, you're undoing this, which is tight, because you want to get this steering wheel back in here like that. Also, you can bring in the wheel, the tire, put that right here. Then let's put this back together. Go, bring this in. Now this time it's the bottom part that you're clamping together on here. It has to go all the way in. Man, this side over here, I don't know if it's like that on all of them, but that side is a beast. The other side was fine to get in. One thing that's also important is to have this angle like this, because this is hard to get under this. So you gotta have it like not all the way back. If so, you can see where it stops. Yeah, it's not right. Then you have this. Make sure these are plugged in too, because then it keeps this where it's supposed to be, up and down, so this can fit into there without, if this isn't plugged in right, it'll push this in. There we go. Then you can take these and you can store them, which is cool. Back here, plug that in there. You can plug this in here. It's a little hole right there, and then you can plug this thing in back here. Let me see where. Square plug, but it fits, so I guess it's fine. And you have that. You can bring this in and you slide it. You can see that what type of joint it is. Slide that in there, and I think you're good. Guess it just uses friction. You could put that thing back here like this for storage. Now his configuration, he has a couple different configurations. Let's just take the weapons off. But a couple different configurations for this back part. I'm gonna do the cartoon version where these are like more on the side. You can have it straight like this with, you know, with these things folded, or you can fold them down and have it a little bit shorter. I don't know which one I like better, but I'm just gonna do it how it officially is supposed to be done, I guess. So let's just fold the blades up. Of course, is the first step. So let's split the tail. Split that, undo this. Guess I can move that up. Oh, I forgot. You gotta pull this apart because it's on this. My fault. Then you can move this back. Move that all back. That's where I store the little piece of gun. Move that down there. Get this off of here. Now I'll come to the front. Get these unpegged. Pull these out. Both sides. Then they're gonna spin around here like this. Split all this, of course, and take the gun out. Put that aside. Now with the top, it's almost exactly like their original, or the legends, I should say. Take this back here like that. Goes in here. Peg them together. Keeps it together. Then we're going to come here with this and get these things together like they were before. No, not like that. Like this. That's robot mode. You don't want together like robot mode. You want it together like helicopter mode. There we go. Then you just put these back up in here and moving these down or back. And you're putting this on just like it was in helicopter mode, so it has something to grab onto. Then you grab on right here again with this right here, and then it's really secure. And right here there's a tab hole that this goes into. So you move that and you tab that in there. Same over here, tab that in there. Tabs very securely once you tab it in. I don't think there's no way to hide this head. It's just chilling, which is why I think people put it together like fully. Pull this out, move this down. Close these. Then close these up. There's a peg here that pegs into there. Kind of keeps it. Same thing over here. You want to pull that up and then accordion it down. I just move these things out the way, and this isn't pegged in, I don't think. Nope. So then peg that in there. Then you have the arm joint here inside of the waist. Oh, you know what? I forgot you gotta get this down too. This flaps up. I guess that kind of covers his head. So you can bring this flap around. Yeah, I guess it does. Then you can also add these things on if you want. I guess any way you want. I know this orange joint, man, this thing don't feel good at all. And bring the hand in. Let me take this stuff off a little bit so I can fit the hand in. Push the hand up in there. There's two pegs that go on either side of the cockpit, the bottom of the nose. I did have these in, but I think it's better served like this. Directions are trash, so it just is what it is. But I think it's easier like this because then it fits and it covers up this side too. And here's the arm, so we'll get that together. So this guy is pretty involved. I just unpeg here. Take this, oh, well, we do need to do that, but not yet. Unpeg, take this wing out. Yeah, you don't have to do all that. Unpeg this. Should be pegged into the leg right here. So you flip this down, flip this back. Get on this side, same thing. I left this panel from my transformation when I had it all jacked up. So it flip that down, flip this back. And I believe it tabs in there. Now we just got all of this mess. We're just gonna start unpegging. These are a beast. Start taking this apart. Oh, right here too. We can get this out the way. I guess flip that up somewhere like that. Over under here, kind of. And here we are. Everything's blowed out. You can bend these around. Now you want to get that bottom piece out because it's pegged up. Because what you're doing is you're just unpegging that and unpegging it off of all of this. There we go. Get his wing off of there. I'm like, what's up with this piece? After you fold all this stuff up, you just want to fold it in. And it'll stick in there. And the same thing on this side. I just like to do it together. So I kind of don't get lost. I may get lost still. But let's undo that. Undo this. Doing this is kind of cumbersome too because you have a bunch of stuff together, but I like doing some of this just together in the sequence. Now you just tab this flap up here, and then you tab this up here, and it's just going to tab into the side of the leg. Make sure it's in there like the swimwear. Of course, you know they're tabs. Makes for good connections, but they're too small. I mean, they're too big for the hole. The hole's too small for the tab. Again, it makes for good connections, but it's going to eat that up as it is. Just mentioning it. Now, if you keep it in Bruticus, you know, you're not going back and forth. It is what it is. These are my robot modes, probably, because I think I like Zeta's better. But we're going to see. We're going to see. Spoiler alert. But I haven't seen this yet, so not spoiler alert, really. So move this wing up, tab this wing together. So now we're folding this in, Bring this up, peg it into the side here. That one was a little bit better. Move this up and peg this into the side here. And then all of this stuff, you want to fold this bottom piece up and then the top piece over top of the bottom piece. As like that. This side has two pieces that you fold and unfold. This side only had one. So here we are, blow the pot. Now you want to flip the boosters in like that. You flip this around like this, in. Easy. Again, back. You gotta do it this way because it won't go this way. Fold that down, fold that up, fold that in. So then what you do is move this in. You can see like that. Moving this over, goes in like this. Like I said, it's almost like you're going back to robot mode, except you're not closing this part. You try to get all this together. This goes in here. There's tabs over under tabs here. And so you slide them in right there. Over under tabs. Then you want to tab this in. It'll tab in tightly and kind of secure all this together if this doesn't fall apart. There we go. It becomes more solid when you put them together. Oh, move this down in here. There you go. It's just like that. Again, this gets more solid because it's the over under tabs that's like holding this panel onto this panel. It gets more solid once you put it together. And you want to bring this out right here before I forget, because I will. And it keeps these two halves better together. That's the word. Better together. Oh, did I do this? Yeah, I did do this side. See, throwing it both together. Move this out of here. Again, over unders here. Like that. Make sure this is like that. This is in here. Now secure the bottom. This side was so much better. And then move this together, and right here is where you get this in here, and it's kind of hard. Well, I guess it's not too bad if you have it right. Move this up. Move this in because I did not. Sorry about that. After you make sure you get it in there, then you just squeeze it all together and it locks pretty great. Like I said, this stuff gets more solid once it's together. Then you can move this, I guess, I don't know if it's right here or just here, just to cover up all that stuff. Because here's the joint, the arm joint. And these two go up in here. Man, yeah, that's a better connection. That's a tighter connection. You know, it is still a little spongy, but so then for the cabana port, it's in here. I turned this around already off camera, so you turn that around like that. Unpeg this. So you unpeg that. So then once you do that, you pull this down. I'm going to connect it now because you need to connect this before you put it back together. Piece here, and then you see how it goes. You can move this up if need be a little bit, and then you slide this in here. And then this will slide back up into the original form. I took this off a little bit more than I should have. Let's get that in there. There we go. And this is a great connection point on this because it's not going anywhere. Now I heard some things about this one. So with this guy, I personally think it's better to start from robot mode. Take the gun out. First, let's do the feet. Feet, you just want to tuck the feet in and leave the heel spurs out. So you got to do all this stuff, of course, to get the foot tucked in. Move that. So then you can get this foot in here and tucked in as it should be. Like that. Just close all this back down together. Trying to be a little quick, but it's not paying off to be quick. It's better to be accurate than quick. Same thing over here. Won't do it on camera. So you got the feet like this. Then you want to move this around because it's going to be the front. This is going to be in the front. So let's take this backpack apart. I should say let's get the backpack, but take that apart, take this apart. Take it apart and do this. Spin these around. Make sure this is in there so they fit. Again, spin these around. It's not really critical to do it right now, but you can. So going from robot mode, you do want to move this out, move this around here and put it back in the front. Wait, on the side here. Yeah. You want this tire exposed. That's like the only thing from vehicle mode. One of the few things from vehicle mode. So that's why I think it's better to do it from robot mode. Then you move these arms up. Make sure the green's inside. I actually moved that a little early. You are going to eventually move that, but this arms and pull these out of here, and they go in like that, and then they move down like this. This on the outside. Again, you move this in, pull that up, move it down, move it more in, and you move it down with this on the outside. Make sure these fists stay straight. This little piece right here look like the smile. That's what it should look like. Move all this stuff out. Then you can flip this piece out here. And now you're moving this up here. It's going to grab onto this little tab there. On here, that's going to tab in the arm right here. And this gets a little flimsy because it's not great for until you get it all together. Then you tab that on. Maybe you can see how it's tabbed in on here. Correct. And do the same thing. Oh, this thing is, I probably never flipped it out. And I did this side first because there's over under tab on this side, if you can see that. I forgot is right here there's a joint that you need to break the connection and fold down like that. It's not just folding this down how like this. It's not just folding on this elbow joint. It's actually the elbow joint has a joint. So you gotta do that and then fold it onto this joint. I show it over here. You can see, and it comes down where it needs to be. Now this will fit in the backpack. If you don't do that, it's just gonna be all out of whack. You can continue to do this. So let's go back to this step. Should be good. And last but not least, don't forget to push this down. It creates a little top part right here that helps with everything looking clean. Now you don't want to pull these up yet because you want to get these legs together. Let's move these skirts up. So you want to move this leg around, then you move this up like this, pull this out of here, then this moves up, and make sure the skirt is down so you can get this in where you need it. And then there's a little notch here. There's a tab here. I don't know how secure it is, but it is there. But this is where it's secure. There's a notch that goes into there. So move that into there. And then you can try to get this tab in on the side. It goes in, like I said, I don't know if it's super tight. Get over here. Move this. You can move that down. Pull this out. Move it up. And get this together up here. Make sure that that skirt is down. And get this in there like that. And this tab on the side, I guess. Then you can move this up and it'll lock all this in place if this is locked in place. Lock that in place. And then this will lock in place on the side. So nothing will come out. And on that side, everything's locked in. There we go. Then you can move these. These will come off. Well, at least this one did for mine. But you can move it up. It does have a stopper. It just seemed to not be great. Bring this in. You see the slot here? Slides into there. Super tight. So I just had to pry it up a tad bit. Man, It's I guess if this was up, it seems pretty stable. Then you just add this on, move the head up. This piece right here is difficult to get on. One of the barriers is the bottom part here isn't as secure as I would like it. Like there's a little peg here and there's like a peg here that's not super secure. It will come off. Also, my leg, somehow this, I didn't see it until just a few minutes ago when I was trying to get this tighter. This went up into, you know, the skirt that slides with the joint movement. It went up in there and this head was like all out of whack. If it's not straight like this, it's going to be so hard to get on. And I think it was just pushing on the corner of it to push it off. So it is more secure than it was a few minutes ago. Let me put it that way. This holds on. This helps it get secure. Like when you push the head down. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of two tabs that tab in, and then there's some tabs back there, but it's not the greatest connection. And now, last but not least, let's get this guy on. And this just goes on. There's no real, you can put it on and off without even moving anything. So I think that was a mistake, an oversight by them. And you can see his face. I wonder if I move his face, maybe move his face like this. Yeah, I think that might be what it's supposed to be. Maybe I moved his face in and covered it with the little flap. So now you just see red on the side. You can kind of still see it, but what you gonna do? And here you are, your Lord of War. Lord of War. So initial impressions, it is great looking, great figure, combiner, big for the money. I do have some criticisms. I don't think it's the best built thing. Like some of the joints, and we're gonna get there, but this is like the intro of this figure. So some of the joints are not great. Like the arm joints here are not they don't feel great. The leg joint doesn't feel great. Even the waist is too tight. The ab crunch, there is an ab crunch, but it's super tight to get it going. And yeah, just like some of the joints aren't the best built. Now looking wise, it looks great if you're in the G1. The other oversight is they didn't have a gun. They want you to buy, I think, Shockwave. And it does fit. I've seen pictures of it fitting in his hand, but still, you shouldn't have to buy it. They should have either gave you Shockwave, which would have been great as an extra figure. Maybe have, I think one of them was really cheap. I think Swindle was cheap, so maybe have Swindle be, you know, $20 more or something, and have Shockwave in the box with him. I think Swindle's the one that was cheap. One of them was cheap, I think, because it didn't. I don't know why it was cheap, but they're all on sale on Magic Square's website too if you want to go. I don't know, they just all went on sale, including Blast Off, so go check that out. Let's do some comparisons. I'm probably going to compare these guys more in a standalone video, and I'm going to say it right now, I'm an equal opportunity reviewer, and I will say Zeta's not the best built figure either. Here's these two together, comparable in height. They definitely have things. There's things I like about him, but there are some things that I think is super two-tuned. I love this figure. I think this is going to be my Bruticus, and I'm gonna have these as robots because the robots are so good, and I do like all but Blast Off as cartoon ish. But it would be a hard choice for me. Definitely what's more accurate is Magic Squares. There's no question with that. We all know how Zeta do. But that's one of the reasons I do like Zeta, is because they do have like some real world feel to him, and he's huge. Looking at it side by side though, Zeta does look kind of unproportional. His head's too small. I think if this head was on Zeta's, I would probably like Zeta's better. So I don't know, I might be doing some aberrations. I ain't even gonna lie, I might take this head off and put it on Zeta's somehow and call it a day. I think Zeta's head is too small now that I'm looking at it, because his body is humongous. Wait, let me show the back. It's a clean figure. I mean, G1 clean. Looks like it stepped off of the cartoon, of course. Like I said, that's good or bad depending on your sensibilities, but that's definitely subjective. If you're in the hypertoon look, I mean, this is it. This the figure. So let's just go through articulation. He has head goes down, head goes up. You get the 360 on a tight joint. You see it's moving the whole bot. Alrighty, I just broke it. Yeah, I guess now I can put his head on to Bruticus. Yeah, I just broke it. It just broke the screw off, and the actual screw is in here still and in there. So that sucks. And that kind of, if you saw my Blast Off, yeah, that's, so you can get 360 at your own risk. Try not to let that affect the rest of my review. But I already told you the build quality is suspect on some of these parts. Blast Off's arm I broke off the same way, or not broke off, but I stripped the screw, I'm sure, and this just severed the screw. So there's a screw in there. I do have a kit where I can get screws out of stuff. Never use it on plastic, so I don't know how good it would be, but I got a drill. I don't know if I'm gonna go through all that, if I'm just gonna stick this head on the other Bruticus. So here we go with that. Review over. I'll see y'all later. Nah. Let's hopefully we don't do nothing else. Arm does the 360. As you can see, my arm's not falling off. If you have it back like this, it can fall off, because I don't know if I want to do it, because then it might start falling off. You can see it's just, you can see that mechanism. It just slides in and goes over. They should have had a flap come out and go over top. I'm sure somebody will make a fix for it. Crap. Yeah, now it's just great. What I do? Nah, I didn't have it all the way up. So you got that. Shout out to Sony. I watched his video for the fix for this. He put a little card in there. That's good. I think he got it from somebody else, which he gave credit to. TM Reviews, if you don't know who I'm talking about. Arm up to that point. Let me do this one since they're two different robots. If his head's not connected and rolls off, you can get it that far, but probably like that. Elbows. Again, these elbows don't feel great. They have the elbow though. Let me do this one since it's two different bots. This one gets, let me see. There's a lot of play. No, they get about the same. You can see more than 90. It's cool, but again, there's a lot of play in these joints. I don't know if that's, some places it might be good for that. Some places I don't know. So you have the bicep swivel because it's the waist right up here, both sides. Yeah, see, when you're moving this, the waist, the legs, the leg joints, which were never great, give play. So you have the arm or the hand that goes out like that. You got 2 knuckles and a ball joint on the thumb. You got 2 knuckles and the ball joint on each finger. So they do get very expressive. How you doing? Waist swivel on a ratchet. Just cool. I'm gonna take his head off for now because it's gonna fall off and I'm gonna lose it. And then I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it and I'm gonna lose it. Ab crunch again. It probably can go farther, but just to show, like I said, I didn't have the best time with this thing, putting it together. Skirts, you got skirts inside, skirts in the back that come up. These, I believe, are connected, but when I was fooling with them without it being together, it didn't seem too great. So let's see what's up with that. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Wait. Yeah, it's working now. I guess maybe more leverage. Thought I had to drop down hips like the regular figures. Oh, it does kind of. Man, does it stop there? I think it stopped. It could go more, but there's like a little piece on here that's hitting it. I don't know. So it kind of stops it. So that's all you get right there, but you can move this more. And it's starting to fall apart. And hold it like that. So back, you can get all the way back. Front, you can't get all the way front. Back is about as much as you need. Swivel at the top. Ratcheted swivel. Just cool. Knee joint. Doesn't fail. I can say that all the joints on here are really nice. Well, the ratchets are good. Let me put it that way. I just told you the joints are crazy. But you got rocker all the way. Toe tilt. You had individual toe tilt. And no individual heel spur. Nah. So finally, in the end. Looks wise, if you're into the tune, it's great. It's great looking. It looks like it stepped off the screen. When they come out with the new chest plate and the feet and all of that, then it's gonna look like even more cartoon. Right now it's the toy. What else? It goes together fairly. It goes together well, except for this arm, which needs to be fixed. And this part, which is a big part, but when I'm maneuvering it, it wants to come out of the center. Again, it could be me. I don't know if anybody else had any trouble with it. Leave a comment if you got this and you had trouble or didn't have trouble. Let me know. But I did have trouble. Knees are great. Feet are great, of course. Legs, all that good stuff, which lends itself to the stability. So it's needed to be great. It's there. The stability is there. It sucks that I stripped this screw. They use a lot of screws on their figures, and the difference between screws and pins. Screws you can untighten and kind of adjust things if you need to, but they will get tight as you screw something in. Like I did. I must have been screwing it. I should have just stopped. I felt the resistance, but yeah, so if you're screwing stuff, a screw will screw all the way in and only has so much place to travel. Pin is just a pin. It's just on it and it can spin around as much as possible. without any problems. But then it can get loose and you have no recourse like a screw. That's a long-winded explanation. Articulation is pretty great if you can get it there. Some of the articulation points aren't great, aren't built well, and I mean it just is what it is. It's not, some of the articulation points aren't built well, so there's nothing else to say about that. Some of the QC issues are QC issues, like these things coming off, they come all the way off. This one's pretty loose. No, that's not the one. This one I think is loose. It can get tighter though as long as you leave it alone. It doesn't seem to be falling down right now. You know how much else to say about this guy? Let me know in the comments what you think about this figure and if you're cool with it or if you're not cool with it. I'll get over with you in the next one. Peace.
You know, life ain't over. Life ain't over. Life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.